Someone wanted them dead.
Both the victims, Michael and Betty Krieger, were stabbed repeatedly in the neck and apparently died from profuse bleeding.
Police were summoned by the victim's son, who called saying his parents never arrived for Thanksgiving supper. The officers investigating found the house locked up tight and the victims brutally murdered inside.
Investigators tested the house alarm tonight and found it working. In fact, the home is well equipped with security devices. But none of them helped on the morning of the murders because the intruder apparently walked through the front door.
Possibly one of the victims, either Betty or Michael, knew the intruder, who that person was, and allowed them into the home.
The murders have stunned this quiet middle-class neighborhood. Henry Shine lives across the street and even had the Kriegers' key to take care of the house when they were away.
I have no idea of what could be behind this. It's a crime that you can't describe, especially in a town as quiet as West Orange.
I don't think they had any enemies. I don't think there was any disturbance. He did they just completed their home, redecorated it, you know, and they were set to go to Florida Tuesday.
And there is no apparent motive for the killings. The house wasn't ransacked. Nothing appeared to be missing. So robbery doesn't seem to be the motive at this point. Roland?
Okay, cops spotted them. They sped away, abandoned the car, and tried to cross the murky canal. 2 other boys did manage to survive the swim. A 73-year-old widow is being hailed as a hero tonight. She drove like a stunt woman to avoid a carjacking. Robert Miller has that story.
I just fought back.
The battle began on Arkansas Street in Valley Stream as Mrs. Stern was headed for a relative's home and Thanksgiving dinner. She told us a car cut in front of her began swaying back and forth. She blew her horn. The car stopped, blocking her path. One word, they tried to ram her car.
They started to sideswipe me, like you see in the movies. And I said, you got a weapon in the car. I got a better weapon. I got a newer car. And so instead of my veering off away from them, I veered into them. And that's how I damaged my car.
Damage wasn't great. The donut spare now replaces the flattened front tire. But neighborhood lawns got torn up a bit as the battle continued. Mrs. Stern says her car was blocked again. She tried to run down one of the men, who then reached into the open window with one hand and with the other toward the rear view mirror.
He grabbed that, and it's rather large. It's the kind you can push up and back. And I sped up in reverse and dragged him. He held on, and I kept going in reverse. I figured if I can't kill him going in drive, I'm going to kill him the other way.
What she did was inspiring, but was it really the right thing to do?
She could have been overpowered. If these people would have been armed, she would have been shot. It's probably not recommended to resist the way she did.
Detective Brown says Mrs. Stern should have closed the window and leaned on her horn. Somehow I feel that's not quite her style.
The only description the police have is 2 male blacks in their mid-20s driving a bluish-gray older car. In Forest Hills, Robert Miller, Channel 9 News.
Well, today's economic news may give the holiday season a boost. The Commerce Department says that personal incomes rose by 1% last month. That's the biggest gain in nearly 10 months. And buyers and browsers filled Herald Square and other shopping areas today. It's nicknamed Black Friday because sales today are supposed to help stores end the year in the black. Brenda Flanagan reports the consumer trend is to spend.
Santa took requests and customers forked over cash as the holiday shopping season got underway. Many people seemed primed to spend some serious bucks.
Do you have more money this year than last year?
Yeah.
And you're going to spend more?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to buy a little bit more this year than I bought last year.
How come?
The economy is a little better for me this year.
Economic surveys predicted a 5 to 6% spending surge this year and claimed consumer confidence was climbing.
The Republicans are out of office, and I think people are going to start spending more. There's a little bit more money to be made now.
Shoppers at about 300 stores, including IKEA, took advantage of the new lower 3% tax rate, which took effect today as an economic incentive in 4 North Jersey cities. That's half the usual tax rate, and even New Yorkers couldn't pass it up. But nowadays, besides sales, many shoppers also want more security, and the malls are responding. State police will provide 300 troopers to patrol parking lots. Ocean County's 1,200 cops will take along their guns and badges when they go shopping, and many malls are providing valet parking. Shoppers let valets park their vehicles at Short Hills Mall, while mounted police kept watch at the Woodbridge Mall. More security trucks will cruise the parking lots at Quaker Bridge Mall, and more guards will roam the malls all over the place, providing shoppers with escorts if requested.
Well, I know that we're more nervous than we were last year. Like my husband said, why didn't I come by myself today? And I didn't want to come by myself.
I feel safer because my man is here.
But it has nothing to do with the mall security.
Not at all.
Retailers are doing their best to reassure and lure shoppers out to spend a bundle. Stores do about half of their business during this holiday shopping season, and after 3 years of slumping sales, retailers just can't afford to have their customers scared away. In Lawrence Township, I'm Brenda Flanagan, Channel 9 News.
Anti-fur activists had a chilly day for a protest.
We'd rather go naked than wear fur. We'd rather go naked.
In Manhattan this morning, about 24 members of Activists for Animals stripped down and marched down Fifth Avenue. They declared today Fur-Free Friday. They demonstrated in front of fur displays and department store windows. Rubbernecking backed up holiday traffic in the area. Steve Adubato is now standing by the hot seat with more on the animal rights movement. Steve?
That's right, Roland. Tonight we're going to have a member of the Friends of the Animals here to answer your questions about this so-called Fur-Free Friday. Also, they're going to talk about how they plan to shut down the fur industry. We'll be taking your questions at 1-800-962-8255. The hot seat is later in the broadcast, Roland.
All right, now a gruesome murder in Manhattan. A man is decapitated. Tonight, cops have arrested his son. Reg Wells is here with the story.
Roland, this is a crime that'll probably never be fully explained, no matter how much evidence is eventually gathered. Police say a teenage boy committed an almost unspeakable act of brutality against his father.
The crime involved murder and mutilation. A 40-year-old Iranian native is now dead. His 19-year-old son is under arrest. The victim had been decapitated.
Several of his middle fingers were missing. He had various other wounds to his body. His head was taken and thrown through a plate glass living room window from his 12th floor apartment down onto the second floor air-conditioned ducts.
After getting calls from neighbors, police went to this 12th floor apartment and found the headless body of Mohammed Bayat.
In addition to that, there was a cat, which was also decapitated and thrown through the window also.
The victim's son was arrested this morning at St. Vincent's Hospital, where he sought medical assistance for cuts and abrasions. His father lived here in the Diamond District and was a jeweler in the National Jewelry Exchange.
This store closed for the day early this evening, and the people who worked here did not want to be on camera. They all said the victim was a quiet, soft-spoken man, but they also said they don't like this publicity.
Security people tried to keep us away from the building.
This is near the store. Near the store.
We were not allowed in, and no one inside wanted to come out to talk. However, other workers in the Diamond District say this is all anybody talked about today.
It's been a very big topic. It happened supposedly early in the morning, and it's been buzzing around the whole neighborhood ever since then.
Police said the apartment was in shambles, and heads had been cut off statues in the apartment. The dead man was reportedly very outgoing, but had no other family in the U.S. other than his son.
We have not been able to. They don't have any telephone number. It's an indirect number that we have to reach them in Tehran, and it's not 1 o'clock in the a.m.
That's the person who was the family friend, not the young man seen before. There's also reports from the police that this teenager had been in Bellevue Hospital in the psychiatric unit 2 years ago. Now, police say neighbors heard loud arguing in the apartment early this morning. Later, police say the doorman saw the son leaving the building carrying knives and a machete covered with blood. Roland?
The earth shook this morning in Southern California, but Greg Lamont reports this latest quake had only minor effects.
Shoppers, on the biggest shopping day of the year, got a wake-up call in Southern California in the form of an earthquake.
We got a little frightened, but it was over before we knew it. So it was all right.
A fast roll.
A fast roll.
What do you mean by a fast roller?
Well, I was sitting on the couch, and it started going back and forth, you know, like a roll, and then it was over.
No, I didn't feel a thing. I heard about it, but I didn't feel anything.
Felt a kind of waviness, but yeah. It was there.
The 5.4 quake struck 75 miles east of Los Angeles in the Big Bear Bear Lake area. Damage was very minor, and there were no reports of injuries. Seismologists say the quake was one of a series of aftershocks that have struck the area following last June's 7.5 earthquake there.
If you count all of the small ones, we're over 40,000 so far for both the Landers and Big Bear sequence. Since this morning, it's much less. I mean, since the 5.4 this morning, we're talking about 100.
Because of the level of seismic activity in the Big Bear area, many seismologists believe the aftershocks have increased the chances of a major earthquake occurring. In fact, the State Board of Emergency Services plans to hold a news conference on Monday to discuss the likelihood of a major quake and to urge public safety agencies to reevaluate their disaster preparedness plans. Seismologists say no one can accurately predict when an earthquake will occur, much less the big one. So Friday's quake only served as a gentle reminder earthquakes are part of life here. Greg Lamont, CNN, Los Angeles.
Around the world tonight, an attempted coup in Venezuela has been crushed. Rebel forces were trying to oust President Carlos Andrés Pérez. At least 19 people were killed in the uprising. The country is under martial law tonight. In Vienna, fire swept through a historic wing of the Hofburg Palace. 69 of the city's famous Lippenzahner stallions were evacuated from a nearby riding school. The horses were not hurt. And tonight, U.S. Marines are preparing for a possible mission to Somalia. Jamie McIntyre reports on the plan to help millions of starving people.
A quick strike force headed by the amphibious assault ship Tripoli is steaming toward Somalia, carrying 1,800 Marines and a squadron of helicopters. The Pentagon insists the deployment is routine, but it also says it could be part of the first wave should a major deployment of UN troops come about. That may depend on whether the U.S. can mount a Desert Storm approach to Somalia relief, build an international consensus on a clearly defined mission that enjoys the support of the American people, something that Joint Chiefs Chairman Colin Powell has often said should be the standard for future military intervention.
The troops just thrive on this kind of mission. The troops also very much enjoy and feel they're making a contribution to world society.
Powell and Defense Secretary Dick Cheney are said to favor a division of between 15,000 and 20,000 U.S. troops as the core of a UN force, to send a clear signal to Somalia's notorious roving militias to keep their distance. Many relief organizations have called for armed force to get food to the famished, but others fear an infusion of military might turn relief workers into targets. Conventional Pentagon wisdom is that well-armed, well-trained U.S. forces would be intimidating enough to keep the outnumbered militias of rival Somali warlords at bay. Though opposing a similar mission in Bosnia, the Pentagon brass clearly believes that Somalia has a lower quagmire quotient. And while the U.S. hopes to get in and get out in just a few months, it's not clear how that's possible, given the continuing anarchy in Somalia. Jamie McIntyre, the Pentagon.
Well, President-elect Clinton did what many Americans did today. He went to a shopping mall. This one was in a Los Angeles suburb, Glendale. Mr. Clinton shook hands and said he thinks consumers will spend more this season. Earlier, he met with former President Reagan. They discussed transition and political issues, and Mr. Reagan gave the incoming president a gift.
My history with jelly beans was what prevented me from becoming a cigarette addict. I substituted these, and I just thought that patriotic colors and all that maybe you might want to have that.
Thank you. What a wonderful gift. I love it. I'll need them.
Mr. Clinton and his family will spend the weekend vacationing at a friend's house near Santa Barbara. Smokers have those nicotine patches to help them kick the habit, and soon there may be a patch to help heavy drinkers. Jeff Flock explains.
One of these two men is getting drunk. If you want to know which one, you can give them a breathalyzer. That's a 0 blood alcohol level for Wes. Nearly a 0.1 for Tim. But if you look closely, there is another way to check their sobriety. The patch on Wes's forehead is white. Tim's green. In this case, green means stop.
Very dark green is equivalent to a blood alcohol level of DUI, like a 0.1. and that would tell a person yay or nay, you know, yes, I should do this, or no, I shouldn't.
University of Chicago researcher Jim Zachney helped develop the patch, which measures the alcohol vapor given off through the skin. After more testing, he envisions the day when the Band-Aid-like patches will be available in bars or liquor stores to tell drinkers whether or not, for example, it's safe to drive.
Sounds like a good idea.
I'd probably use it. Probably not, because I never drink too much.
But some alcohol abuse treatment experts question the wisdom of trying to guess sobriety.
Safest advice is if you're drinking, don't drive at all. Find somebody to drive you. And any effort to kind of hedge on that would be asking for trouble.
I think it would be very good. I think a lot of people would like and would choose to obey the law, but some people probably don't know their limits.
I'm Jeff Flock, CNN in Chicago.
Shock jock Howard Stern says he's happy to have a new TV show, but he's not sure people know where to watch it, even his dad. It's on the cable channel called E, and that stands for entertainment, but the elder Stern says that he only gets high school basketball on that channel. If you're looking for Elvis, you might be able to spot him Monday at the post office. That's when Elvis, the stamp, goes on sale, but you won't be able to walk out with the new stamp. You'll have to fill out a form and then get the stamp by mail. Her voice is smooth as velvet, and it made Sade one of the top music stars of the mid-1980s. As Bella Shaw reports, the singer is now making a comeback.
This smooth, sultry sound hit the public and pop charts in 1984 when Sade's debut album, Diamond Life, went multi-platinum. She went on to receive the Grammy for Best New Artist in '85 and turned out 2 more multi-platinum releases within 3 years. But following a successful tour in 1988, Sade and her group brought their music making to a deliberate halt.
I feel sometimes, yeah, I've just got to get away. You know, I've got to get away from that life. After the last album, we toured for quite a long time, and we just wanted to get back to where we started. And, you know, we just said that when it's the right time, we'll start again. I gave you all the love I got, I gave you all I could give.
Nearly 4 years later, in a studio built in the basement of Sade's London home, her new release, Love Deluxe, was born, along with her new single, No Ordinary Love.
It's where we are now. Each time you make an album, you think that it's another step, you know, it's a progression from your previous stage. When we make an album, it's like voodoo, you know, we get into the sensation, and the moment becomes the atmosphere, becomes the music that we're making, or the song that we're working on.
Despite the changes in music trends and the artist's absence over the years, Sade maintains her trademark sound.
This is our way of making music, and we wouldn't consider, in a way, doing something else, because it wouldn't be come from the heart, and it wouldn't be us.
Bella Shaw, CNN Entertainment News, Hollywood.
And there's a lot more ahead tonight for you. We'll have the latest on a deadly tanker truck accident in Milwaukee. And we'll meet the sidewalk Santas as they get their marching orders. But right now, here's George in for his dad with a look at first weather.
You know, I was very intrigued about that story about Howard Stern, how his dad can't find him on TV. I have the same problem. I keep telling Dad, look, it's the same channel as you. It's the same channel as you. Let's find out what's happening right now. Clouds beginning to move in. They cleared out, but they are back again. Partly cloudy right now. Temperature at 43 degrees. Humidity 68%. Winds from the north. Barometer right now 30.04, and it is steady. Want to wish a big happy birthday to Macy Harris from Montclair, New Jersey, 95 years young today. Way to go. Back with the rest of the holiday weekend forecast when we rendezvous in a few.
Channel 9 News is brought to you by the Good Old Guys.
I'm MS Matos from the USSK. I'm in the East Pacific. I was at season's greetings to my family in New York and the Bronx, especially my mother, my 2 sisters, and my son in Albany. And that I love them all. I'll be home soon.
independent real-world study. The Oldsmobile Achieva against the Honda Accord and Toyota Camry for 100,000 real-world miles. Real-world roads, real-world driving conditions, each car driven by real, everyday people. After 100,000 miles in a comparison of total operating, repair, and maintenance costs, the winner in the real world is. Now you can smart lease the 93 Oldsmobile Achieva for just $199 a month. Where? At your good old skies.
Do you believe in UFOs?
I thought I was dreaming, I was hallucinating.
They just come in, they took me up out of the bed, and off we went.
Are they real?
Was there any concrete evidence that that's happened?
I have evidence.
Are we in danger?
Why can't you call the police department?
Or is it all in our minds?
They experience what they think is reality.
What a bunch of phony baloney.
Hey, pal, don't you even think about it. The Infiniti J30 luxury sedan.
Is this all you'll squeeze out of your next vacation? This year, take home a Club Med vacation. There are Club Med villages for families, couples, and singles.
Would a Camry owner admit the Pontiac Grand Am was a better car? We went to Wayne, New Jersey to find out.
I like my car. Here, let me show you something.
I told him the Grand Am came with a V6 available and a host of other features.
This is a lot bigger than the Camry. Comes with anti-lock brakes. Check out the mirrors, check out the front. It's nice and curved.
It's a nice looking car.
Car's only $199 a month.
I think we did make a mistake, and I didn't think we researched enough.
I think you're right.
Well, here it is, the day after Thanksgiving, and your credit cards may still be warm from use, but the only weather that's warm is down in Florida. Temperatures there in the 80s once again. Here's the rain that we had yesterday for Thanksgiving, well offshore now, but we're watching as an upper-level low develops off the Carolina coast. Could bring in some rain showers late Saturday into early Sunday morning. Meanwhile, across the west, snow business in Washington State. Spokane, Washington, 3 fresh inches of snow on the ground. A real mess there this morning. Combination of rain and freezing rain, everything you could imagine. You want cold weather? Got that too. Check this out. West Yellowstone, Montana, down to 18 degrees below zero this morning, and record-breaking cold across the west. 6 below. Pocatello, Idaho, 18 degrees in El Paso, 24 Amarillo, and only 33 degrees this morning, Corpus Christi, Texas. Nationwide hotspot this morning, West Palm Beach at 86 degrees, and you think it's cloudy here, you think it's cloudy here. Chicago today saw sun for the first time in a month. All right, here's the radar summary again. Most of the rain shower activity well offshore. The upper level low will slowly drift up towards the north. And remember, the low spins like this counterclockwise. As it does so, it'll develop a little bit of shower activity in the afternoon by tomorrow. Here's your forecast now from the Weather Lab. For the rest of this evening, mostly cloudy, cold tonight. Temperatures for this evening near 40 degrees. Saturday's weather looking like this. Mostly cloudy for most of the day. Now again, a few showers developing in the afternoon. Highs for tomorrow in the upper 40s. Tomorrow night, continued mostly cloudy, a few scattered showers, rain that is. Temperatures for tomorrow night in the upper 30s. All righty, I'll tell you, he's been chasing squirrels around my backyard, but I'll tell you, all he's going to chase tomorrow is an umbrella. Gizmo the Weather Dog says, dig up your umbrella. Down the road, Saturday through Wednesday, into the crystal ball we go. A few showers again, well, for a small portion of late Saturday into early Sunday, but the rest of the picture is looking good indeed. Fair Sunday through Wednesday with highs in the 50s and 40s. So once we get that little spurt of showers out of the way, smooth sailing the rest of the week.
So in other words, when your dad comes back on Monday, we're going to have relatively nice weather.
Yes, of course. He gets the easy job. And remember, Dad, it's Channel 9.
Right.
Channel 9.
Tell me about Gizmo here. Did you really have to dress this dog up for all of this? I mean,
you know, Gizmo the Weather Dog's amazing because he really does love to dress up. I mean, he has a nose for weather and a nose for other things, too. So he's got it made.
Okay, George, thanks. And now the winning numbers from Albany. Here's New York's lottery drawing.
It's time for New York Lottery's Take 5 drawing, conducted by the New York State Lottery under the observation of an independent auditor from Coopers & Lybrand.
Welcome to New York's Take 5 drawing for Friday, November 27th, 1992. Take 5 players win cash prizes by matching 5, 4, or 3 numbers, or a special bonus, a free play ticket for matching just 2 numbers. Take 5. 5. You've gotta love the odds. And now for tonight's winning Take 5 numbers. The first winning number is 16. Tonight's second winning number is 30. Our third winning number is 20. Tonight's fourth winning number is 17, and the fifth winning Take 5 number is 29. Tonight's winning Take 5 numbers are 16, 30, 20, 17, and 29. For the New York State Lottery, I'm Yolanda Vega. Thank you and good night.
And what do they think of next? A Santa singing a different tune. Listen. But no matter how you say it, it's still the sound of holiday time in New York. And today, the Volunteers of America Santa Sidewalk will hit the streets, and after receiving their diplomas in Santaology, they will be collecting money for charity throughout the holiday season, and they certainly would appreciate your help. Still ahead tonight, sound advice if you're thinking about changing your job. Plus, our I-Team looks at why all drivers should check their car insurance.
Channel 9 News is brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors.
I'm Captain John Markle, stationed here at RAF Upper Hayford in England. This is my family, my wife Beth, my son Christopher, and my daughter Madison.
We'd like to say happy holidays to George and Nancy Markle in Middlesex County.
Hey Dave, Nikki.
And Snowy.
Some launches aren't. But the 1993 Mitsubishi launch really is. With affordable luxury leases on Diamante ES. Big factory-to-dealer cash incentives on Eclipse. And special incentives on Galant. So for a sensational send-off, come to the Mitsubishi launch.
Let your Tri-State Mitsubishi Motors dealer send you one in a new car today.
It's me, Mad Mike of the New Jersey Public Auto Auction, and I'm going mad, auctioning off every type of car, mad, pickup, and four-wheel drive at below wholesale prices. Doors open this Saturday, 10 a.m. for inspection. Auction time, 12 noon. Bid on the largest selection in the tri-state area. The New Jersey Public Auto Auction on Stockton Street, Newark, where the prices are as bad as me.
Your question is?
We're looking for a family car that's affordable, safe, and reliable. What do you recommend?
How about the Buick Century?
Makes sense. It's been rated the safest car in America by Highway Loss Data Institute. And you know now Buick has added an airbag.
And with the prices of a lot of cars today, Century is a real four-door family value package.
Certainly a very reliable car as well. Thanks for the call. Test drive a Buick. Quality you can afford.
Make this Christmas a Panasonic Christmas at Nobody Beats the Whiz. Pick up a cellular phone for $99, a 4-head VCR with on-screen programming, $249, a fax machine with one-touch sending, only $499, or a 20-inch TV VCR combo, just $549. For Christmas, as always, Nobody Beats the Whiz.
September 1957. Road and track on the Volvo 444. With a car like this, who needs a sports car? October 1992. History repeats itself.
On the half hour, here's an update of one of our top stories. There's been an arrest tonight in a brutal murder. The screams tonight from a Manhattan teenager. He allegedly decapitated and mutilated his father. Police say 19-year-old Anthony Bayat went to his father's 12th floor apartment in the Diamond District early this morning. Neighbors say there was a loud argument. The father's decapitated head was found on the second floor. Father's cat was also decapitated. There was a deadly tanker truck accident in Milwaukee today. The truck was filled with gasoline when it plunged through a highway guardrail, fell 40 feet into a parking lot, and burst into flames. The driver was killed. 6 cars were destroyed. Fortunately, nobody else was hurt. Now, drivers beware, your car insurance may need a tune-up. I-Team reporter Al White has the story.
There's been a lot of attention in the media lately about car thefts. Approximately 140,000 cars were stolen in New York City last year alone. Many of them ended up in here, the city pound. But you know, that's only part of the story. Little attention has been given to the fact that the owners of those stolen cars often were not the only victims. The problem is, whenever a car is stolen, the car thief, often a juvenile, delights in reckless driving and causes thousands of dollars in property damage. Damage that, depending on where you live, may not be covered by insurance.
Like a playground, and the whole New York streets like a playground. Yeah, it's like a playground. That's all they do. They don't care about, they don't have no respect for human life.
It's a fun thing for them, man. I guess they find it to be fun, whatever. It's an age thing, too. It seemed to be from when they like 12 to no older than 16. Maybe some of them be adults, but majority of them be like from 12 to 16.
The guardrail surrounding this house on Madison Avenue in Newark is built to protect it from car thieves.
At first you had just 2 crash bars, right? Mm-hmm. And then now she got 4.
Tenant Alberta Williams describes the most serious incident. A car crashed through the side of the house into the dining room.
The nose of the car was sticking inside.
The nose of the car was sticking inside.
It went right in there.
Landlord Samuel Upshur says car thieves struck this house more than once. How many times has your house been hit of it?
4 times.
4 times?
4 times. 4 times.
Upshur says the car owner's auto insurance only paid if the car thief was caught.
He went to the hospital. He had gone to the hospital, but he didn't get away, so he ended up, his insurance company, I think it was Continental, I'm not sure, they paid, but 3 other times they didn't pay.
That's even though New Jersey's insurance spokesman John Teen says,
because we have mandatory coverage for physical damage for uninsured motorists, which they don't have in other states.
States like New York and Connecticut. In these states, uninsured motorist insurance only covers bodily injury. For example, last February, this New York City police officer was injured in a chase with a car thief. The thief not only hit the police car, it also hit an innocent motorist. The motorist's car received between $1,700 and $2,000 in damages. Both the stolen car and the innocent motorist were insured by Allstate. But since it was a stolen car that hit their vehicle, since last February, they haven't been able to collect a dime to pay for the damages to their car. In this letter to our I-Team, Allstate explained, our automobile policy only provides liability coverage to A, the named insured, B, any household resident, C, any person with our insured's permission. Because the operator of this vehicle does not fit this description of an insured person, payment cannot be made. Unfortunately, like many motorists, the accident victim didn't have collision insurance because she had an older car. I'm Al White from Channel 9. Can I ask you a question? Do you have collision insurance on your car?
No.
Neither does this driver.
I took it off about 2 years ago. It's too expensive, sir. That's the reason.
According to New York and Connecticut's insurance departments, if a stolen car hits your car and you have collision,
a collision policy is one which covers regardless of fault, regardless of whether or not the vehicle was stolen.
But New York Insurance Department's supervising examiner Richard Lynn says, on the other hand,
if the person does not have collision, there is no coverage available.
Lynn says that's true even if you carry insurance for an uninsured motorist in New York.
Uninsured motorist coverage was designed to protect an individual who's the victim of an uninsured motorist, but only for their bodily injury. Okay, it does not protect for property damage.
So despite all of the complaints about the cost of New Jersey auto insurance, Garden State motorists win out on this one.
All motorists in New Jersey are required to buy uninsured motorist coverage, and that coverage would cover the damages to your car.
So the bottom line is, if you live in New York or Connecticut, you should think twice whether or not you carry collision insurance on your car. I'm Al White for the Channel 9 I-Team.
Still ahead tonight, the chorus tree sings out, and one for the record books, boy who balances his soccer ball on his head all day long.
Channel 9 News is brought to you by the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
Hi, I'm Captain Andy Fagg, and this is my wife, Tammy. We're here in England at RAF Upper Hayford.
And we'd like to say happy holidays to all our friends and relatives in New Rochelle, Uncle Robert and Aunt Judy.
Your Dodge dealers will attempt to sell 1,000 Dodges in 10 days. That's 8 Dodges an hour, 1 Dodge every 5 minutes. And that means it's Dodge Don't Delay Days. Plus, you'll get up to $1,836 in total savings on the Dodge Spirit, $500 cash back on Shadow, $500 cash back on Caravan, and you can get air at no extra charge. Plus, expect a low down payment, on-the-spot financing, and immediate delivery. Yes, it's Dodge Don't Delay Days, so don't delay.
Don't miss Harrow's spectacular half-price Thanksgiving weekend sale. A 7-foot Mountain King, $49, and select animated figures, $35. Now through Monday at Harrow's.
You must remember. This Christmas on video cassette, the 50th anniversary limited collector's edition of Casablanca. The gift that only gets better as time goes by. $19.98 or less after $5 rebate with purchase of Taster's Choice.
Ooh, darling, I need you so. Never ever gonna let you go. 'Cause I'm the one for you. Hey, I'm the one.
Capture the ones you love without missing out on the fun yourself with a Sony Handycam, America's most popular camcorder.
I'm here in the beautiful Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. The phenomenal success of Coors Light means we bring some of our Colorado brewed beer here for finishing with crystal clear water from the Blue Ridge Mountains. The recent negative advertising from the makers of Budweiser is nothing more than a reaction to that success. The truth is, no matter where our beer is finished, it has that same clean, crisp, brewed in the Rockies taste. If it didn't, we wouldn't sell it.
Look what we've done with Toyota.
Look at Toyota buyers and you'll see lots of happy faces.
Look what we've done for you now.
You can still save. Just look to Toyota. But this 93 intro sale has only a few days left. Don't miss this introductory sale on Toyota cars and trucks. And don't overlook all the great savings. Or the ways your dealer makes it easy to own a Toyota. Like no payments until next year. But hurry, this weekend's your last chance to save during our Look to Toyota sale.
Look what we've done for you now.
Well, do you love your job?
You asking me that?
Oh, no, I will in a moment, but I guess to some people, Reg, it really doesn't matter. But others are always seeking a new challenge, and you have something on that?
Well, we love our jobs and we like working together, but there are a lot of people who may not be satisfied. And tonight, in our Kiplinger's Personal Finance Report, we explore career changes and how people are doing it.
I love getting up in the morning and going to work, and that's what I was looking for. So I'm very happy I made the change.
In 1987, Pamela Thayer closed the book on her 9-year career as a speech pathologist. She put up every dime she had, borrowed $45,000 more, and vowed to make it through vet school, and she did.
Anytime you make a change, you are taking a chance. You're stepping off the career ladder. But for many people, they never wanted to be on that ladder anyway.
So he found
So they accept the risk that I may not like what I'm going to do.
All right. We'll talk later.
All right, I'll ask you a few questions.
Okay, thanks. Still coming up tonight, getting into the holiday spirit with the chorus tree. But first, Steve Adubato standing by the phones and the hot seat.
Okay, Ron, here we go. Tonight, you can take sides in the great fur controversy. We're going to be taking your questions for an anti-fur activist. The number to call is 1-800-962-8255. The hot seat is next. Stay tuned. You know something? We really love our new Ford Explorer. I love it for shopping. It's still got the most room of all. I love it for the weekends. It's got the convenience of push-button four-wheel drive. I love it for its safety. Things like full-time four-wheel anti-lock brakes. The Ford Explorer. We just love it.
We think you'll love Explorer for its value with $1,900 in savings.
See the 93 Explorer at your Ford dealer and see for yourself.
When you own a Toro Power Curve electric snow thrower, you get some things you can't get from a shovel. You get a new kind of electric snow thrower that throws 30 feet. The ability to clear a 50-foot driveway in 15 minutes. And the most powerful electric snow thrower made. Of course, there is one thing you can't get from a Toro that you can get from a shovel.
Beyond him, a teenager in Bangladesh has set the world record with his soccer ball. He balanced the ball on his head for 20 hours and 10 minutes. He says those last 10 minutes were the hardest, and everybody says he's truly using his head. They didn't say that. Still ahead tonight, we'll have sports, including why the Jets will be singing a different tune now that Al Toon is retired. So stay with us.
Thank you, All right, we'll see you.
The real advantages of a claim from Chrysler Plymouth include all this room for 6 passengers, plus about $1,500 worth of options like these. At no extra charge for under $12,400. Now that's sure to make 6 people very happy. See the new 93 Acclaim from Chrysler Plymouth at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer, where real advantages make a real difference.
Families, they can surround you with love.
Oh, Grandma, it's so good to see you.
And they can break your heart. And sometimes the heartache helps you to discover the most valuable lessons of all. I'm Olympia Dukakis. Join me at the dinner table for a meal that shows how important our families are for all of us.
Saturday at 7 on Channel 9. Buy your kids a conventional keyboard, and here's what they'll learn on their own. For the same money, the Miracle Piano will actually teach them how to play.
See what I mean? Whoa. I've never played an instrument in my life, and I'm just proud of myself. It's just fun.
The Miracle Piano Teaching System. Why buy just a keyboard when you can have a piano that teaches you how to play?
Do you remember that story about the 3 bears? This was too big. That was too small. And finally, something fit just right. Like the J30 from Infinity. Now, that's my definition of luxury. It's a car you just slip right into. And live happily ever after. Infinity. Makes you want to take up driving again, doesn't it?
It's Levitt's Christmas kickoff sale with the hottest furniture bargains you've ever seen anywhere. And here's just one example. Levitt's put this 5-piece living room together for only $699. You can choose sofa and matching love seat, or 2-piece sectional plus cocktail table and 2 end tables. All 5 pieces for only $699. But hurry in, this sale ends Saturday. Don't miss it.
You'll love it at Levitt's.
Would a Camry owner admit the Pontiac Grand Am was a better car? We went to Wayne, New Jersey to find out.
I like my car. Here, let me show you something.
I told him the Grand Am came with a V6 available and a host of other features.
This is a lot bigger than the Camry. Comes with anti-lock brakes. Check out the mirrors. Check out the front. It's nice and curved.
It's a nice-looking car.
The car's only $199 a month.
I think we did make a mistake, and I didn't think we researched enough.
I think you're right.
Well, Russ is off tonight, so I'll give you a quick look at what's happening in sports. We start with the expected news out of the Jets training facility. Wide receiver Al Toon today announced his retirement. Toon's decision comes after he suffered the 9th concussion of his career 3 weeks ago in Denver. Since then, he has had suffered from post-concussion syndrome. He's felt weak, experienced nausea, and dizzy spells. The 29-year-old Toon followed the advice of doctors into early retirement.
Didn't expect to be here so soon. It's been a great 8 years of my life. I guess I've dedicated 15 years of my life to football. And it's every football player's dream to end their career on their terms, so to speak. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but I do not have any complaints about what has transpired in my career. I've had a lot of success. Didn't think I'd cry, but it's really been a big part of my life. And I'll be around for a few more weeks. I'll be at the last couple of home games and hanging around in the locker room and stuff with the guys. And again, I thank you.
Upon leaving, we spoke with Al's longtime teammate and close friend, Kenny O'Brien, who spoke about Al Toon, the player and the man.
He liked to set the tone by example, and he was a perfectionist on the field as well as off of it. And he was so gifted that he could concentrate and give 100% on the field, and as soon as he walked away, get on to something else, and he'd come back and play again. And whenever he was asked, he came up with a big play and made things happen, and you couldn't ask for anybody to be any better or do anything more than Al did.
Toon was a Pro Bowl selection from 1986 through 88. He was also voted the Jets team MVP in those 3 seasons. He retires with 517 receptions and 6,605 yards. He owns a Jets record of 101 consecutive games with at least 1 reception. Toon is expected to have a complete recovery, and he expressed an interest to pursue a career in real estate. In the NBA, the Nets were in Utah taking on the Jazz. After falling behind early on, the Nets did some jazzing it up of their own. Sam Bowie led the ensemble with 21 first-half points. At the half, the Nets led the Jazz 64-52. Currently in the 4th quarter, the score is the Nets 91, the Jazz 81. In college basketball at Madison Square Garden, the Seton Hall Pirates took on the Indiana Hoosiers in the preseason NIT championship. Calbert Cheney powered the Hoosiers to a 37-33 first-half lead with 16 points. The Hall battled back and took the lead in the second half. But Cheney continued with his hot hand, pouring in the career high now for 37 points. As Indiana defeats PJ's Pirates 78-74 to claim the preseason NIT crown. In the National Hockey League, the Rangers were in Bloomington skating against the North Stars. The Rangers were trailing 4-2 in the 3rd period, but the Rangers charged back. And after assisting on a goal that closed the gap to 1, Tony Amonte's power play goal tied the score at 4. Currently in the 3rd, the score remains tied. And we leave you with the sounds of the St. Cecilia Chorus. They formed a chorus treat tonight at the South Street Seaport. You'll like it. I'm Roland Smith. See you tomorrow.
The closed captioning of tonight's news has been underwritten by PSE&G. The power is in your hands.
Jessica Tandy and Hugh Cronin. Foxfire. Tuesday at 8 on Channel 9.